NCRA Champion Series on Fox. Continues today. The Don Handicap kicked the series off with an upset. Silver Charm was to be golden, but the unbeatable was beaten.
It is Puerto Madero. Puerto Madero is going to do it, and Silver Charm not today.
Today it's race 2, the prestigious Santa Anita Handicap. After running 3rd in Florida, Silver Charm's back to prove that bronze just ain't his style.
I've been asked all week long, has he lost a step of speed? Is he not as fast as he used to be? And he can go out there and speak for both of us with the way he performed.
He'll have to do it against one tough field and fierce competitor, Freehouse. A rivalry is renewed.
Because of the competition in this race, I think Freehouse is probably going to have to run the race of his life. I can't remember seeing a field that was this deep in talent.
And after the Don win, Puerto Madero's back for more. Can he prove he's worthy of gold?
I think Puerto Madero will probably fare the same as he did last time in Florida in the Don Handicap.
Trainer Richard Mandela's Midas touch has won this race the last 2 years. Today he goes for an unprecedented 3-peat.
If it wins the 3rd time, it'll just be one more part of the dream I never thought of.
If you look down at a list of the horses, trainers, jockeys that have won the Santa Anita Handicap, it's a pretty strong list. For me, it means more than the Breeders' Cup Classics, the best handicap I've seen in 15 years.
The Big Cat, packed with a field of dynamite. The Santa Anita Handicap is next on Fox.
Sports welcomes you to historic Santa Anita Park at the base of the San Gabriel Mountains in Arcadia, California. Just minutes from another picturesque West Coast sporting venue, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, for the 62nd running of the $1 million Santa Anita Handicap for 4-year-olds and up, to be run at the classic distance of 1.25 miles, known among race fans as the Big Cat. The weather here today in Arcadia, 59 degrees. The forecast cool and mostly cloudy, and the track condition is fast. And a good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Santa Anita Handicap, the second leg of our NCRA Champions on Fox Super Series. I'm Kenny Albert. Race number 1 of our series took place just over 1 month ago at Florida's Gulfstream Park. The Don Handicap won by Puerto Madero, who earned 20 bonus points over the favorite Silver Charm. And Puerto Madero still in the running for the $5 million bonus should he sweep the series. Today's Santa Anita Handicap, and then 3 more races. And I am joined now by a very familiar face here at Santa Anita Park, one of the leading trainers on the West Coast, Ron Ellis. And Ron, prior to the Don Handicap, we all thought Silver Charm was unbeatable. He finished 3rd. What happened?
Well, Kenny, I have 2 theories on this, and one might be just as simple as he's a tired horse. He had a tough Triple Crown campaign. Then he traveled around the world as a 4-year-old last year to win the Dubai Cup. But I think he had some legitimate excuses in Florida. He had an outside post that cost him a good position into the first turn. He was carrying 6 pounds more than Puerto Madero in that race. But I think the main thing is he just didn't handle that sandy surface at Gulfstream Park. He won't have any excuses today, though. He's back home. He's working well. And don't forget, at this track, he's got 8 starts, 5 wins, and 3 seconds.
And Silver Charm today in the number 1 post position with jockey Gary Stevens. The morning line odds 8-5. Sidon 15-1 with Eddie Delahousse. Freehouse, the number 3 horse, at 7-2 for rider Chris McCarron. As we turn the page, trainer Richard Mandela with the number 4 Puerto Madero at 2-1 with Kent DeSormo, and event of the year 9-2 with Corey Nakatani, and the number 5 horse at 10-1 is Dr. Fong with rider Alex Solis. I now turn to my left, welcome in partner number 2. He's a columnist with the Daily Racing Form, Jay Privman. Jay, you've been out here all week talking with owners, trainers, and jockeys, and everybody seems to think this is the deepest big cap field in 15 years.
I think they're right. This is a sensational field. The 6 runners in this race combined have won 44 of 86 starts, more than $11.6 million. You've got a Kentucky Derby winner in Silver Charm. You've got a horse who might have won the Kentucky Derby last year if he hadn't got hurt about a week before the race in Event of the Year. You factor in Puerto Madero and Freehouse, two horses who have beaten Silver Charm in the past, and you can understand why Bob Baffert thinks that this is the toughest field Silver Charm has ever gone up against.
And this race has such a great history dating all the way back to 1935. And for more on that, let's throw it out to the paddock and the fourth member of our broadcast team today, Caton Bradar. Caton?
Kenny, whether it's through an Abbott and Costello movie or a trip to the races, even the most casual race fan is familiar with Seabiscuit, whose image is captured here in the Santa Anita paddock. Seabiscuit won the 1940 Santa Anita Handicap at the age of 7, the final race of his career, and his victory triggered a series of wins spanning more than 50 years by some of the biggest names in horse racing, names so illustrious that horsemen have come to call the race simply the Big Cap. And look at the big names in the Big Cap. Horses like Round Table, Cougar II, Affirmed, Ali Sheba, and Best Pal. And this year, Silver Charm will try to become the 5th horse in history to win both the Kentucky Derby and the Santa Anita Handicap. But all the owners, trainers, and jockeys in this year's field will hope to add their horse's name to the list of Big Cap winners, one of the most prestigious lists in all of horse racing. Kenny?
All right, thank you very much, Caton. Much more to come from Santa Anita, so let's take a look at what we have in store for you over the next hour.
Still to come in today's Santa Anita Handicap, a one-on-one with Richard Mandella. With Puerto Madero an Event of the Year, this hot trainer has 2 shots at history in today's race to make it 3 in a row. And a look at the renewed sizzling rivalry between Silver Charm and Freehouse, a big duel and a big cap. Then it's the 62nd running of the Santa Anita Handicap. It's all coming up next on Fox.
Located just 14 miles northeast of downtown Los Angeles, as we get set for the 62nd running of the Santa Anita Handicap. 31 minutes to post. A look at our current odds and the approximate payoffs. Now, using the number 6 horse, Event of the Year, as an example, the current odds 4-1. So for every $1 you bet, a profit of 4, a $2 bet leads to an $8 profit. Add your original $2 bet, and the approximate payoff would be $10. Well, you've seen the odds. Now give us your pick. Head to the computers, and who do you think will win today's 62nd running of the Santa Anita Handicap? Log on to www.foxsports.com and give us your choice. Well, we talked about Event of the Year. His trainer, Richard Mandella, last year, Jay, became only the 4th trainer to win back-to-back Big Cap.
He joined some pretty illustrious company. Preceding him, Charlie Whittingham, who won it in 1985 and 86, but he couldn't get the hat trick. Neither could Ron McAnally. He won it with John Henry in back-to-back years, but he couldn't get that elusive 3rd win. Silent Tom Smith, he was the trainer of the great Seabiscuit, but even he couldn't get a 3rd straight Santa Anita Handicap victory.
So Richard Mandella here today in 1999 looking to make some history.
He is looking to make some history. Richard Mandella, a California native with a self-deprecating sense of humor. This is a trainer who has done very well in recent years, especially in the Santa Anita Handicap, but he might be best known for some of the great upsets that he's caused in recent years.
5 weeks ago, Mandella upset Silver Charm with Puerto Madero in the Don Handicap, the first leg of the NTRA series.
Silver Charm, not today. It is Puerto Madero.
Mandella's most stunning victory came in 1996 at Del Mar when he snuffed out Cigar's 16-race winning streak with the tag team of Darren Go and Siphon.
I looked back and I saw Darren Go just kind of twist his tail and look like he leveled off after him. I thought, this horse might just run by these 2.
Mandella has been horse crazy since he was a kid. His dad, Gene, was a blacksmith, so Mandella grew up around horses, and he grew to love them.
I used to have to tell him it's getting dark. Let's get off the horse.
We do our training there at night. He'd shoe horses all day at the farms. I'd go to school what little I went. But when we'd get done, we'd meet there and we'd train horses till dark at night. Yeah, so I guess you could say I got my education moonlighting.
His devotion to racing is all-consuming. When he was in Florida for the Don, we asked Mandella if he was going to the Super Bowl. His response, who's playing?
I didn't go there thinking anybody was going to ask me any football questions. I'd remembered hearing Denver, but life as a horse trainer, you don't always have a lot of time to hear what the rest of the world's doing. And when you have a small mind like mine, you got to give every moment of attention to what you're doing.
In recent years, his attention has been focused on the Santa Anita Handicap. In 1997, he swept the first 3 spots with Siphon, Sandpit, and Gentleman.
Looks like a 1-2-3 for trainer Dick Mandela.
Santa Anita Handicap, when I ran 1-2-3, was like having some crazy dream that you don't believe.
And then last year, he won the Santa Anita Handicap again, this time with Malik.
He's always knocking at the door. Let somebody slip going in that door, and we'll be in there quick.
It's going to be Malik and Alex Solis to win the big cat.
Most of Mandela's top horses in recent years, like Siphon, Malik, and Puerto Madero, have been imported from South America. They need plenty of time to adjust when they arrive here.
First of all, their hemispheres is upside down. It's southern hemisphere in Argentina and Brazil and Chile. And when they come here, it's northern hemisphere, so summer is winter, and the springs and falls are backwards. The environment of training is completely different. They train without saddles, ride them bareback.
Once they adjust, they are ready to challenge the best horses in North America. What else does Mandela do to prepare his horses? Pep talks.
You can beat them old-timers in the handicap, huh? They don't know you got youth on your side. Silver Charm will whip your red ass this time. You can't beat his butt. Huh? He told me you were a circular when you kicked your tongue. Yeah, that's what he said the other day. Yeah. It'll be a great feeling to win the handicap a 3rd year in a row. It'll just be one more part of the dream I never thought of.
Richard Mandela's barn is so loaded, he almost had 3 horses in this race, but he decided not to run last year's Santa Anita Handicap winner Malik. And the reason he didn't want to do that is because he thinks that this horse might be better off with a little bit of time before a $5 million race in Dubai later this month. He thought if he ran him today, he wouldn't have as fresh a horse for that race later this month. It's a $5 million race. By doing that, though, he deprives this horse of being able to join John Henry as the only 2-time winner of the Santa Anita Handicap. John Henry won it in 1981 and 1982.
And event of the year, one of Richard Mandela's horses for today's big cap run last year was a leading contender for the Kentucky Derby, but suffered a major knee injury and was forced to miss the Derby.
And to me, this is just an amazing comeback for this horse, because most horses are forced into retirement, let alone return to Grade 1 competition is unbelievable. But Richard Mandela just loves the way this horse is training this week. And, you know, we'll see if he can continue the dream.
And Richard Mandela's other horse today, Puerto Madero, winner of the Don Handicap here on Fox back on January 30th. And Richard, of course, with event of the year and Puerto Madero in today's race. Ron, as a trainer, how do you handle having 2 horses in the same race?
Well, it's really not that big of a problem. We have assistants to help us, and in a larger barn, it'll happen quite a bit. But let me see if I can take you down inside and show you what it's like to saddle a horse just before a race. When most people think of riding horses, they think of a Western saddle, one like this that weighs about 35 pounds. We're going to leave that for the Lone Ranger. We're going to use one of these that weighs about 1 pound or 2, and that's it. First thing we'll have on is a chamois to absorb the perspiration of the horse to help keep the saddle from slipping. Next thing we put on is a sponge that'll keep the saddle from pinching the horse. Next thing is we'll put the identification saddle towel, which will carry the number on it. This horse happens to be number 1. And the next thing that goes on is the saddle. We'll then put a girth sponge on underneath so that the girth doesn't pinch the horse. Got plenty of protection here. The last thing that we'll put on is an overgirth, which is just kind of a double check to make sure that the saddle doesn't slip. And again, we'll just make sure that there's just enough tension to keep the saddle in place, but not so much that it pinches the horse. So we've got the saddle on. Now, as a trainer, the butterflies will start to kick in. This is my last chance to bond with the horse, give him a few encouraging words, much like you do with your son or daughter sending off to a baseball game. Good luck, big boy.
That doesn't look too hard, Ron.
No, it's actually pretty easy handling the horses. It's when you have 2 owners in a race that makes it a little bit tricky, not to show favoritism to one over the other.
Well, speaking of owners, Santa Anita Park underwent an ownership change just recently as Frank Stronach purchased the park for $126 million. We'll have more from Santa Anita after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Welcome back to Santa Anita Park. A look at the paddock as we are 21 minutes to post. Silver Charm is the even money favorite right now. Freehouse and Puerto Madero both 7-2 odds. And we would be remiss here on Big Cap Day if we did not mention a couple of the great names who are a part of the great history of this race. Trainer Charlie Whittingham, 65 horses saddled here at the Big Cap with 9 victories. And as far as jockeys are concerned, legendary Willie Shoemaker winning 11 of 34 mounts. Well, 2 of the horses who will take part in today's Big Cap, Freehouse and Silver Charm, have enjoyed quite a rivalry. And for more on that, let's head back to Kate.
You know, legends are made with ongoing matchups. Rare in any sport, but rarer still in horse racing. That who would have imagined back in the 1997 San Vicente Stakes when Silver Charm beat Freehouse that the 2 horses would go on to win top stakes races at ages 3, 4, and 5, and that they'd become rivals along the lines of the greats. Talking about the greats. We're talking about your horse and the rivalry. Well, your horse.
Okay.
And your horse's rivalry with Freehouse. And we're going to talk about their rivalry a little later, but I want to talk about this race specifically for you, Bob Baffert. You just saddled Silver Charm in the paddock. What does this race mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm really pumped up for this race. I sort of feel like I'm in the Derby again, you know. But it's a big race for us. I've never won this race. First time I've run in it. And this horse really, he could really leave a stamp. You know, he's won everything but, you know, major race like this, so especially to win your own home, your own backyard. But he's sort of been on the gravy train roll, but he's such a big pudding that you never know what he's going to do.
Well, let's talk about what he's going to do in this race strategy-wise. Do you think he'll be a little closer to the pace?
Yeah, he'll be much closer. I was watching the races. The track's a little bit tiring today. It's a little bit dead. It's not really as fast as it was like yesterday, and so I think a lot of it's going to be we're going to put the horse into the race. And Gary's going to have one thing about Gary, you know, whoever goes for the lead, when the gates come open, you never know. But if he breaks great, we're going to put it to him. And one thing about Silver Charm, we just want him turning for home in the freight because he he will fight off all customers. You know, he's tough. And but Freehouse and him, Freehouse looks pretty good in that paddock.
Well, thanks a lot, Bob. Best of luck. Kenny?
All right, thanks very much, Caton. And since the Don Handicap, Bob Baffert has put 4 fast works into Silver Charm. Ron Ellis, what do you expect this to mean today?
Well, I think I asked Bob that question earlier this week, and he just told me that this horse loves hard work. He's not working him fast to try and get more speed into the horse. He just loves the hard work. But I know, Bob, you heard him say that he wants to lay closer today. I think he's going to rely on Gary Stevens to come out hustling all the way. And I'm betting at the finish of this 1.25 mile race, Stevens is going to be more exhausted than Silver Charm.
Well, Caton told you about the rivalry Silver Charm has enjoyed with Freehouse, so let's take a look at their rivalry.
The class of Silver Charm will prevail. Freehouse gonna get there.
The rivalry between Silver Charm and Freehouse 2 years ago in their 3-year-old campaign was just so exciting.
These 2, they've been nemesis for a long time, and it seems that they've known who each other was since the Santa Anita Derby.
And it's going to be Freehouse. Silver Charm comes right back at him. They run to the wire together. Freehouse a nose to Silver Charm.
The Kentucky Derby prep was the springboard for an intense Triple Crown series, climaxing in a classic finish at the Preakness.
If Captain Bodgett hadn't come on the outside, we probably might have gotten beat that day. He didn't want to go by Freehouse, and there's a great shot of Freehouse with his white eyes looking at Silver Charm.
It was a very tough loss because we thought that was our race. The horse had been training very well, and it was a heartbreak because I think that was our race to win.
But only 3 weeks later at the Belmont, with Silver Charm on the verge of winning the Triple Crown, Freehouse played the spoiler.
Freehouse, I actually think he cost us the Belmont because when he, you know, Gary thought it was all over with his Freehouse, and he never did see that horse on the outside.
After 6 showdowns as 3-year-olds, they raced only once head-to-head in 1998 at the Goodwood last fall, giving Silver Charm the lead 5 races to 2. But the duel goes beyond the track.
I think when they actually see each other in the racetrack, they know each other.
They love to get in a fight, and they hate to lose. They love to get to the wire first, and you can just see the determination in their faces. Silver Charm might think mentally that he's superior. Seems like when he runs up on the outside of Freehouse, or Freehouse comes up on his outside, that Silver Charm swells up and gets ready for a little extra burst of speed.
Silver Charm really, I think he likes Freehouse. you know, and so, but I don't think Freehouse likes Silver Charm too much.
I would love him once to beat Silver Charm in a big race, just because Silver Charm is Silver Charm, and he's had his day in the sun, and I would just like to see our big gray boy just have his day.
Fitting that a rivalry which started here at Santa Anita could culminate this afternoon in the Santa Anita Handicap. But how about it, Ron? I've heard Muhammad Ali always said he was a lot prettier than Joe Frazier, but do you think these horses really know each other?
Well, there's no question that horses know each other, and definitely these two, as many times as they've faced, know each other. But, you know, horses are a lot like boxers. They'll try to intimidate each other before a race. A lot like if I was to step in a ring with Evander Holyfield, one swing and I'm going down whether he hits me or not. But I know if I look over and see Jay in the ring, I'm going that full 10 rounds.
You'll never catch me. I'll be running around the ring.
Well, if the post parade is delayed by any chance, perhaps these guys can go around. Let's hope not. Well, the celebrities have begun to file in here at Santa Anita. John Forsythe is in the house. It's time now for the Nortel Call to the Post. Post parade time here at Santa Anita. Ron, what do you look for as the horses hit the track?
Well, what I'm basically looking for as horses hit the track is just if they're nervous, composed, just walking out there like it's just another stroll in the park.
And in the #1 post position for the Santa Anita Handicap, Silver Charm. Owners Bob and Beverly Lewis, trainer Bob Baffert, and jockey Gary Stevens.
This horse carrying 124 pounds today, 2 pounds less than he did in the Dawn. Silver Charm, one of the greatest horses of the decade. He won the Kentucky Derby 2 years ago. He's now third on the all-time earnings list with more than $6.6 million, behind only Cigar and Skipaway. And his jockey, Gary Stevens, is celebrating his 36th birthday this afternoon.
And he said it would be his ultimate birthday present to win this race. The #2 horse, Sidon. Its owner, Sultan Al-Kabir, trainer Ron McAnally, jockey Eddie Delahousse.
And this team of jockey Eddie Delahousse and trainer Ron McAnally combined to win the Santa Anita Handicap in 1996 with another long shot named Mr. Purple. But Sidon's going to have to run the race of his life to finish third in this race, let alone win it.
#3 is Freehouse. Owners Trudy McCaffrey and John Toffin, trainer Paco Gonzalez, jockey Chris McCarran.
And Silver Charm has beaten him the last 4 times they've met, but Freehouse beat a good field of horses in his last start. He's trained strongly since then, and he figures to take advantage of a fairly soft pace in this race.
#4 is Puerto Madero, winner of the Don Handicap here on Fox. Owners D. Hubbard and Dwight Sutherland, trainer Richard Mandela, jockey Kent DeSormo.
And he's carrying 2 more pounds than he did in the Don, so instead of a 6-pound spread, only a 2-pound spread today. That victory over Silver Charm last time, it wasn't a fluke. This is a very good horse. He's won 11 times in 16 starts, but curiously, this is the first time he's ever raced at Santa Anita, even though he trains here regularly.
#5 is Dr. Fong. Its owners, the Thoroughbred Corporation, Robert Clay, Tracy Farmer, trainer Neil Drysdale, jockey Alex Solis.
And Dr. Fong began his career in Europe racing on the turf. In his only previous start on dirt, he finished second to Event of the Year. Jockey Alex Solis won the Big Cap last year with Malik.
And there is Event of the Year, the #6 horse, owned by John and Betty Mabey, trainer Richard Mandela, jockey Corey Nakatani.
And Event of the Year has the least experience of the runners in this race, just 7 lifetime starts, but he's won 5 of them, and he's got the best bloodlines. He's a son of Triple Crown winner Seattle Slew.
Ron, what did you notice as the horses hit the track?
Well, all these horses look great coming out onto the track. Both grays, Silver Charm and Freehouse, look just a picture of health. Event of the Year, a little bit on his toes. He might have been the only one that was a little edgy here. Puerto Madero, who looked super in the Dawn in Florida, might have lost a little bit of weight after that race, but he still looked very good health.
Well, let's check out the starting gate for the 62nd running of the Santa Anita Handicap. In this select field of 6, post positions are the same as the saddle cloths. #1 is Silver Charm, #2 Sidon, #3 Freehouse, #4 Puerto Madero. As we move along, #5 Dr. Fong, and #6 Event of the Year. Jay Pribman, what exactly do the post positions mean today?
It depends on the race. In this race, I don't think it means a whole lot. We made a big deal about him last time in the Don Handicap because there were 12 horses in that race, and Silver Charm had the outside post position. But today, only 6 runners in the field, a long run to the first turn of more than a quarter of a mile. So that's not going to be an excuse for anybody in this field, Kenny.
Well, you met the horses. Now we bring you some unique facts and figures regarding the big cap. And to help us out, the new Radicals.
And 17's my lucky number.
And there is our current favorite, Silver Charm, with 7 minutes to post. Jay, not much of a payoff. What if I want to get a little bit fancy?
We're getting pretty daring for your first day out here at the track, Kenny. One of the things you might want to consider here with the favorite is playing an exacta. Now, what's an exacta? Well, it's picking the first and second place finishes in the exact order. So, for instance, if you wanted to bet an exacta with Silver Charm, he's the #1 horse in here. You could bet him on top of the number 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 horses. For instance, if you bet a #1, 6 exacta in here of Silver Charm over Event of the Year for a $1 bet, you would get back $10 on that exacta.
Well, we are just 5 minutes to post, and we will have the 60-second running of the Santa Anita Handicap right after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. And here at Santa Anita Park, as we are just minutes away from the Santa Anita Handicap, as we check out the current odds with 5 minutes to post. Silver Charm is the favorite at 6-5. Right on down the line. Well, the viewers have gone to the internet, and Silver Charm has received 34% of the vote, Freehouse 20%, and Dr. Fong receiving 13%. Thanks for logging on to foxsports.com. Well, here at Fox, we have brought you the Fox Box, the glowing hockey puck, and once again, as was the case in the Don Handicap, the virtual finish line, a computer-enhanced on-screen finish line. Don't worry, the horses cannot see it, but that is our virtual finish line, and Puerto Madero crossed first in the Don Handicap and hopes to do it again today at Santa Anita.
And Kent DeSormo, this is Ron here. I notice you're walking the horse a lot. How's he warming up?
I tell you, he has come to the same form that he was in Florida. His feet, I mean, he is like a cat out here. I'm working very hard to keep him quiet.
Ken, now the other jockeys can't hear you here. Can you give us your strategy for the race?
Well, I think quite frankly, Mandela's other horse is probably going to be the determining factor leaving the gate, and I'll have to make plans from there.
Thanks very much, Kent DeSormo. Ron Ellis, how do you see the race?
Well, there's not a lot of speed in this race, and I think that's going to be a big advantage for Freehouse. Let me take you through the major points of the race. Into the first turn, Freehouse along the rail is going to take the lead. Event of the Year sitting just to his outside, second. Silver Charm being hustled along by Gary Stevens, sitting third, just a length off. Onto the backside, they've gone the first half in a moderate 47-2, but this is where they'll start to really pick it up and go the first 3/4 of a mile in 1:11-2. At the top of the stretch, Silver Charm is going to need a way off the rail. He's going to try and split horses here, and Puerto Madero is going to pull to the outside and set sail for home. And at the finish, we have Puerto Madero drawing off by 2 lengths. A good finish for second between Silver Charm and Freehouse, putting Richard Mandela in the record books with his 3rd consecutive big cap victory.
So Ron Ellis goes with Puerto Madero. Trainer Richard Mandela is standing by with Caton. And Caton, Ron, a colleague of Richard, picking Puerto Madero. Does that add to Richard's pressure today?
Richard, Ron Ellis just picked your horse on top. Does that add to the pressure?
There's enough pressure. It doesn't matter now.
You know how to go through pressure-filled situations. I know you don't really enjoy this waiting time, but what's going through your mind as you're watching your horses warm up?
Just watching if they're getting too excited or not excited enough. Just praying for a good outcome.
Well, we'll pray right along with you. Good luck, Richard.
Thank you.
Kenny?
Thanks very much, Caton. Silver Charm is the current favorite, owned by Bob and Beverly Lewis. There is Gary Stevens. Career earnings over $6.6 million. Jay, Silver Charm is the favorite. How do you see the race?
Well, it's 6-5, not the kind of price that I really like. To me, the best overlay in this race is Freehouse. He's 4-1 right now, which is a terrific number on this horse. It's a toss-up for me between Silver Charm and Freehouse. I'm going to go for the bigger price and take the 4-1 shot here.
Caton, how do you see it?
Well, I'm leaning toward Freehouse. I think he's the only horse in the field that was pointed specifically for this race all along, with the exception of Silver Charm, who seems to have reached his peak. Hopefully that gray has his day. Freehouse. I'll go with Freehouse, Kenny.
All right, thanks very much, Caton. There is Freehouse, and now Silver Charm approaching the starting gate as you take a look at the track and stakes records. And right now we are set to head upstairs, so take it away, track announcer Trevor Denman.
Thank you very much. Great timing. They're just going in the gate this very moment. A very calm, cool and collected Silver Charm has just moved in. Runners now loading in the gate for the big cap. Silver Charm, very calm and cool, goes into that inside gate. He's joined by the long shot Sidon. Now here's Freehouse. Pricks his ears forward, taking in all his surroundings as Freehouse goes in quietly. Next up will be Puerto Madero in the white cap. He walks forward. Goes in quietly as well, an exceptionally well-behaved field. Dr. Fong in the green cap will be second last. And event of the year to complete the lineup for this year's Santa Anita Handicap. He's going in, the gates closed, they're all set for the big cap. And away they go to a perfect beginning. Event of the year on the grandstand side, and Dr. Fong in the green cap. There goes Freehouse, the grey one from the rail, and Silver Charm is right there at the rail. He's going to drop in just behind him. Puerto Madero's getting up perfect position in fifth, just 3 lengths off these leaders, and the long shot Sidon is the early trailer. Past the stands first time round in the big cap, and Freehouse just loping along at the rail, pricking his ears back and forth, as is Dr. Fong up alongside of him, but they crawling for a grade 1. Racing in just behind them comes Silver Charm, and Silver Charm sees a hole between Dr. Fong and Freehouse. He's going to move in up there and put some pressure on those leaders. Event of the year is racing in fourth. He's only 2.5 off the leaders. Down at the rail comes Puerto Madero. He's now 4.5 off them, and another 4 back to the long shot Sidon. They've quickened the pace just a little as they move on to the backstretch. Freehouse, Chris McCarron takes a peep back. He must be happy with proceedings. Dr. Fong is on the outside of him. They still stride for stride as they run to the half mile. Event of the year is now up to take the 3rd spot. Silver Charm is still right there in 4th. Those 4 locked together, only 2 lengths separate them. Puerto Madero has now been asked to pick it up in 5th, and Sidon is 8 off the leaders. Going to the 3/8 pole, and now there goes Event of the Year on the outside, and Event of the Year is going to tackle Dr. Fong and Freehouse. 3 of them in a line with a 1/4 mile to go. Silver Charm has now been asked to pick it up, but the whip's coming out on Silver Charm. He's laboring a little in the 4th spot. At the top of the lane, Event of the Year and Freehouse, these 2 battling it out. Silver Charm's not done. He's coming on the outside. Homeward bound in the big cap. Freehouse at the rail. Event of the Year alongside. Silver Charm plugging away in 3rd, but Freehouse and Chris McCarron going to take the big cap. Freehouse wins it 1/2 length to Event of the Year. Silver Charm, Dr. Fong was 4th, then Puerto Madero, and the long shot Sidon finished last.
So Freehouse, our unofficial winner, 2 minutes, .67. With Chris McCarron aboard, owners Trudy McCaffrey and John Toffin. 2nd big cap win. Unofficial, of course, for Chris McCarron. Jay, let's take a look at the stretch run.
This is about as exciting a stretch run as you are ever going to see. Freehouse, well, Chris McCarron put him onto the lead early. He's fighting off Event of the Year here, and then Silver Charm, who looked like he was dropping back at the top of the stretch, makes a belated run, but Freehouse holding off all challengers down to the wire, and he wins it with a jubilant Chris McCarron raising the whip with his left hand. And speaking of jubilant, look at Trudy McCaffrey and John Toffin, the owners of this horse, cheering this horse as they come to the wire.
So Freehouse, the unofficial winner. Jockey Chris McCarron, how was the trip? Tell us about it.
Ah, boy.
Chris, can you hear us?
Yeah, just barely.
How was the trip?
Oh, the trip was very exciting. He broke in the air a little bit, and I got after him, and he got us good position out of there like he usually does. And he just went into a canter when he went by the 16 pole the first time around. And I was able to slow the pace down pretty comfortably.
So Chris McCarron aboard Freehouse, our unofficial winner. And for trainer Paco Gonzalez, 31 years ago, he watched his brother pilot Mr. Right to victory in the Big Cap. And today, it is his time. Number 3, Freehouse, taking the 62nd Santa Anita Handicap. And we'll return to chat with the winning connections right after this. McCarron and Freehouse, our official winner, heading towards the winner's circle as we take a look at the official results and prices. The winner, Freehouse, paying $10.20, $5.20, and $2.80. In second, event of the year, $5.40 and $2.80, and the show horse Silver Charm paying $2.20, the $1 exacta, $24.40. And Silver Charm's rider Gary Stevens is standing by with Caton Bradar. Caton?
Well, Gary was up closer early on, then kind of dropped back and came on again for you in the stretch. Tell us about the trip.
Well, he didn't drop back much. Freehouse ran a great race. Chris controlled the pace up there. They weren't going very fast for this class of horse, and really started running going into the turn. I think that's where they're talking about. They're saying he dropped back. That was just a matter of the leaders accelerating better than my horse did. He put in another nice run at the quarter pole. Looked like he was dropping back again. He ran a little sporadic today. Why he's doing this, I don't know. He did lay up closer today, but it was a slow pace. I'm pleased with his race, but, you know, I don't think it's not what he was last year. And whether he'll get back his old form or not, I don't know. Just keep our fingers crossed. But today, hats off to Freehouse. He's an old warrior. He ran great today.
Big Cap wasn't the charm this time around, but an exciting finish nonetheless. Thanks, Gary. Kenny?
Thank you.
So Silver Charm unable to pull it out on Gary Stevens' 36th birthday. Chris McCarron did with Freehouse. Ron, your thoughts on the race?
Well, the rivalry continues. This was just a truly exciting race all the way down to the finish. As we expected beforehand, there wasn't a lot of pace in this race. And with Puerto Madero, no excuses. He just didn't fire today.
Jay, take us through the race.
Well, the key points in here are the start, first of all. Here is Freehouse breaking out of the number 3 stall. Silver Charm is in the number 1 right here. And as they come out of the gate, what you'll see is Silver Charm's going to break very sharply here to establish an early position. Freehouse kind of tossed his head a little bit at the start and was outbroken by Event of the Year. But Corey Nakatani on the outside is restraining Event of the Year, and what that does is it allows Freehouse, number 3, to now move between horses and get to the front. So by the time the horses got to the first turn, Event of the Year, or rather Freehouse, had established himself as the leader, and Dr. Fong, surprisingly, is laying second at this point as we move. Now, this is a head-on shot of the horses coming under the wire the first time and then moving into the first turn. So you've got Freehouse along the inside. Dr. Fong is second right now, and Silver Charm third along the rail. And as they come around the final turn and move into the home stretch, Freehouse has now been able to take advantage. Here is Freehouse on the inside. Here is Event of the Year on the outside. And what happens is that Chris McCarron has been able to dictate the pace throughout, and he's got plenty of horse left for this grueling stretch run. Freehouse along the inside. First, he's got to fight off Event of the Year. Dr. Fong in the green is dropping back, and you'll see Silver Charm coming into your picture at the very last second, but it is too late for the gallant California-bred Freehouse under Chris McCarron. He's the winner of the 62nd Big Cap.
Paco.
Our official order of finish. Freehouse, of course, the winner. Second Big Cap victory for Chris McCarron in 17 career mounts, followed by Event of the Year, Silver Charm, Dr. Fong, Puerto Madero, and Sidon. So congratulations to Freehouse and Chris McCarron. We'll return to chat with the winning connections, Chris McCarron et al., in just a moment. Welcome back to Santa Anita. Once again, a look at the official results. Freehouse is our winner, followed by Event of the Year and Silver Charm. As we toast the winners and the winning connection standing by, let's first go to Jed.
Thank you very much. Kenny standing by with Chris McCarron, John Toffin, and Trudy McCaffrey, and trainer Paco Gonzalez. And first of all, Chris McCarron, you established this horse's position going into the first turn. Take us through the race, if you would.
Well, he kind of took a little hop at the start, Jay, and then once he felt his feet firmly on the ground, he cut with me and secured a nice position in the first eighth of a mile. And when I crossed over in front of Silver Charm, I was able to go ahead and slow the pace down very comfortably. I was surprised to see Dr. Fong up alongside of me.
I was going to ask if you knew at that point that you must have been going pretty slow if you had a horse like Dr. Fong next to you at that point.
That's a good indication, although it felt like we were crawling. The time was 23:47. That's not really fast, but it's not crawling either. He felt like he went half mile in 50 today.
How big is it to win the Santa Anita Handicap? You'd only done it once previously with Ali Sheba. You get your second one today.
This just validates that 17 is my lucky number. This was my 17th big cap, and I got my second big cap on the 17th. I got married on the 17th. That's why it's my lucky number.
This is definitely your lucky number and your lucky day. We'll let you go because you've got to ride the next race. Chris, congratulations. John Toffin and Trudy McCaffrey, you said last summer that the Pacific Classic was the biggest win of your career for this horse. Does this top it?
I think so. I mean, this just sets us up for the rest of the year, and we finally beat that other gray horse. When we won the Pacific Classic, he wasn't in the race, but we turned the tables today. He ran great.
Well, this makes it 3 wins and 5 losses against Silver Charm, but a sweet victory. And Trudy, as they were coming down the stretch, you were giving it your all, weren't you, cheering for him?
I rode hard. I rode really hard today. And, you know, I don't take anything away from any horse in the race. They all ran great. And I agree with John. Silver Charm's won a lot of races, so it was nice for the big free boy to, you know, meet his old rival and beat him today.
This is like a child for you, isn't it? You get real emotional when this horse runs.
Very emotional. I think, too, it answers the questions of whether or not this horse can run 1.25 miles.
Paco, a tremendous training job with this horse. My hat's off to you. Was he training as good into this race as any of his other races?
Yes, I was telling Chris, and even, you know, Chris, when the last work I gave him, he was training the way he was when he went to the Pacific Classic. I said, Chris, he's going to run big because the horse he was training beautiful.
Yeah, and what about, is this the biggest win, do you think, for you also, or the Pacific Classic? They're pretty even?
I think this race is more, you know, more special race. I know Pacific Classic is a nice race, but Santa Anita Handicap is very special.
What do you think is going to be next for this horse now?
I don't know. First, we got to see him. You know that.
Okay, thanks. Congratulations again, guys. Kenny, we'll throw it to you.
All right, thanks very much, Ron Freehouse, earning 20 points in our Fox Super Series as a result of his victory today. 12 points to Event of the Year, and Silver Charm picking up 8. Combined with the Don Handicap back in January, Free Horse and Puerto Madero, 20 points apiece, 16 for Silver Charm. So our congratulations to Trudy McCaffrey, John Toffin, Paco Gonzalez, and Chris McCarron, who picks up his second career big cap victory in 17 mounts. Well, on Saturday, April 3rd, National Car Rental presents the coveted Santa Anita Derby. The elite will be there for the West Coast gateway to the Kentucky Derby. It all starts Saturday, April 3rd at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, only on Fox right here at Santa Anita Park. And also on April 3rd, join us for the Oaklawn Handicap, and that will take place on Fox Sports Net starting at 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific. For Jay Pripman, Ron Ellis, and Caton Bradar, Kenny Albert saying so long. You've been watching Fox Sports coverage of the Santa Anita Handicap.